will this night bring?
Married 6 weeks.
Married a day.
Married a time.
Three breathless brides tell their stories in a haunting Canadian play. Winner of the Betty Mitchell Award for Best New Play, The Drowning Girls is set to close out the season at Firehall Theatre.
The Drowning Girls is a play. It's a Canadian play. It originated in Calgary, and it's based on a true story about these three women in England who mysteriously died in their bathtubs shortly after getting married. And it all happened in the UK in the early 20th century, 1912, 13, 14. And this story actually became a really important case for forensic science and for how these sorts of things are tried. So it was this pivotal case about how women were being treated and how they were being murdered. And in a time before social media and the internet and television, it was fairly easy for people to get away with this.
Margaret Elizabeth Lofty, born April 17th, 1876.
Margaret Lofty is the oldest of the three young ladies in this play. She wouldn't be old by, our standards. She's only 38, but back then she was unmarried, which would have been considered a bit more of an old maid, if you'd like. She's obviously seen the world a little bit more than the other two. She's a little bit more practical. She kind of resigned herself to being alone. So was very surprised when this gentleman started courting her and pursuing her, and was maybe a little bit more gullible, and how quickly she gave in to his advances and proposal.
And you, Alice, who did you meet?
A devil.
Don't you ever learn?
I met him in church.
Church.
Oh dear.
Yes, in church.
Now, what drew you to audition for this unique show?
I've done a lot of musicals in the past, and I've kind of been stepping more towards plays, and I looked this play up, I read through a bit of it, and I thought it was really unique, and I'd never seen anything like it before, so I thought it'd be really fun to portray one of the characters and just work with this material. The play isn't what you think it is. After reading it, I think that some might think it's just a historical retelling of a case that occurred 100 years ago, but the themes and the ideas in the play are definitely still relevant today, even if they are shown in a more historical lens.
I dropped my package. I'm so sorry, I say. He bends down, picks up the package, and says,
I didn't mean to startle you.
In the show, you are going to be submerged in water mostly. How has that been for you?
Wet, and it's been really good. I feel it really brings to life that feeling, like submerging underwater. It's like closer to closer to the events of what happened in the story. It's been definitely difficult at first, like trying to move around because you don't want to slip or slide on the floor. It's just kind of that extra challenge, which I'm always drawn to.
The show is about a dark subject, but it's handled with a certain amount of whimsy, without being disrespectful. But it's still really relevant, right? When these women talk about their experiences with these husbands, or this husband who manipulated them and preyed on their insecurities, it's nothing different than what we hear today. The same things are happening where people are being used and manipulated, and in a time when we still have, I'm thinking about the missing and murdered Indigenous women and how hard it is to get attention drawn to that. That's what they experienced over 100 years ago, where nobody questioned anything because the men said, this is what happened.
In support of Birchway Niagara, Firehall Theatre will be collecting donations at the performances of The Drowning Girls. For showtimes and tickets, head to firehalltheatre.com. In Niagara Falls, reporting for The Source, I'm Anne-Marie Zammit.